What if I told you that some of the most famous UFO sightings in history weren't alien spaceships at all, but a strange, stationary cloud that defies everything we know about how clouds behave? Picture this. A pilot flying over the mountain spots something impossible in the distance. A smooth, lens-shaped object hovering silently in the sky. It doesn't move. It doesn't drift. It just hangs there, glowing in the sunset like something not of this world. For decades, reports like this have poured in from credible witnesses, military pilots, commercial aviators, even air traffic controllers. And almost every time, the explanation turned out to be the same. Not a UFO, but a lenticular cloud. One of the most misunderstood and visually stunning formations in our atmosphere. So what are these mysterious saucer-shaped clouds? And why do they look so unnatural? To understand lenticular clouds, you first need to forget what you know about normal clouds. Most clouds drift with the wind. They form when warm, moist air rises and cools. But lenticular clouds break all those rules. They form when strong, stable winds blow across a mountain range, creating invisible waves in the air, like ripples in a stream flowing over rock. When moist air gets pushed upward on the crest of one of these waves, it cools just enough for tiny water droplets to condense, forming a cloud. But then, as the air sinks down into the trough of the wave, it warms up again and the cloud evaporates. So what you're seeing isn't a single cloud moving. It's a cloud constantly forming and dissolving in the same spot. A stationary, shape-shifting illusion. That's why lenticular clouds can look like giant stacked plates, smooth lenses, or even flying saucers hovering over a ridge. They're not solid objects. They're more like ghosts painted onto the sky by an invisible force now. Let's dive into the 3 key ingredients that bring these phantom clouds to life. First, you need mountains. Or at least, a significant obstacle that forces air to rise abruptly. The steeper the slope, the stronger the lift, and the more dramatic the cloud. That's why places like Mount Rainier in Washington or the Andes in South America are lenticular hotspots. The second ingredient is wind. Not just any wind, a fast, consistent flow moving perpendicular to the mountain range. If the wind is too weak or too turbulent, the wave breaks apart and the cloud never forms. But when conditions are just right, the air flows smoothly up and over the peak, setting off a series of standing waves downstream. Sometimes these waves can extend for hundreds of miles. And the third ingredient? Moisture. Not too much, not too little. Just enough water vapor in the air to condense at the wave crests, but not so much that it turns into a thick, shapeless blanket. When all 3 align, magic happens. A lenticular cloud appears, often in multiple stacked layers, one hovering above the other, like a tower of otherworldly disks. And here's where things get even stranger. Because these clouds don't move, they've been mistaken for everything from alien motherships to government experiments. During the Cold War, multiple UFO reports were logged by military pilots who'd never seen a lenticular cloud before. They described gleaming metallic objects, or structured craft, that held position for hours. Even today, with all our technology, people still pull over on highways to stare at what looks like a giant, silent visitor from another world. But the real beauty of lenticular clouds isn't just their appearance. It's what they tell us about the invisible architecture of the sky. Pilots actually use them as a warning sign, because where there's a lenticular cloud, there's often severe turbulence lurking beneath. Those smooth-looking waves can hide violent rotor currents that can shake an aircraft apart. So while they're breathtaking from the ground, experienced pilots know to give them a wide berth. And yet, despite their danger, lenticular clouds have also inspired wonder and creativity. Artists paint them, photographers chase them. And for glider pilots, they're like a secret map to the sky's hidden elevators. Because the same rising air that forms the cloud can lift a glider thousands of feet without an engine. So the next time you see a smooth, lens-shaped cloud hovering motionless over a mountain, you'll know the truth. It's not a UFO. It's not a sign of the supernatural. It's something even more fascinating, a perfect, fleeting sculpture carved by wind and mountain and moisture. A reminder that sometimes, the most alien things in our world aren't from other planets. They're hiding right here in plain sight, painted on the sky by nature's invisible hand. Have you ever seen a lenticular cloud in person? Or maybe even mistaken one for something else? Share your story in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Nature Unlocked for more mysteries of the world around us.